There's a difference between a good backpacking trip and one you'll never forget. And it's the little things that make all the difference. Hey guys, I'm Chris from StepMassive, and after completing over 100 backpacking trips in the last 5 years, today I'm sharing 10 trail-tested tips that will elevate your next trip to legendary status. From snagging better campsites to gear hacks you'll actually use, let's dive in. All right, so this first one's for when you're camping near a lake. So if you're setting up camp near a lake, you might think the shore is the perfect spot. And sometimes it is. But here's the thing, heading uphill instead can totally transform your experience. Next time, try climbing up on a nearby ridge or hill, and you'll be rewarded by sweeping views of the lake and the surrounding landscape. Imagine sipping your morning coffee while watching the sunrise over the water or catching the golden hour from above. Plus, being higher up means fewer bugs, less wind, and way more peace and quiet. You still get to enjoy everything the lake offers, just from a way cooler vantage point. All right, let's talk about filtering water. If you ever wished you could skip all that squeezing and just let nature do the work, this hack is for you. Here's a super simple trick. Turn your water filter into a gravity system. First, you'll need a water container with some kind of handle, loop, or anything you can tie some paracord to. That's key. Without a way to hang it, this won't work. Once you've got that, simply hang your water container from a tree branch and let gravity do the work for you. While your water is filtering, you're free to set up camp, organize your gear, or just sit back and enjoy the views. And if you can't find a suitable branch, just use some paracord and wrap it around a tree with a toggle made from a branch or a tent stake. Then you can simply hang your water container from the toggle. And by the way, if you're using a Sawyer squeeze or a similar style of filter, you can take a bottle cap and shut off the flow when you're not using it. This can also turn your water filter into a mini faucet that you can use to rinse off your hands at camp. And here's a piece of gear you don't hear about often, but it can totally change your evenings at camp. This little guy is lightweight, compact, and slips into your pack without taking much space. A candle lantern is perfect for creating a soft, warm glow at camp that feels way more relaxing than a harsh headlamp. On colder nights, you can warm your hands and fingers with it, or even use it inside your tent to make things a little more cozy. Just be careful, because many tents are flammable. Plus, it can also be used in emergency situations if you need to keep a flame going while dealing with wet conditions. For something this simple and affordable, it provides a nice sense of comfort to your campsite and can totally change the vibe of your evenings at camp. Next, let's talk about sleep. Because if you're waking up sore or restless, this quick hack might just fix that. Here's a trick that's helped me sleep so much better when using an inflatable sleep pad, especially when side sleeping. Bring a sit pad and slide it underneath your sleeping pad at night, right under your hips. By the way, this one is just 3 sections cut out from a Thermarest closed foam sleep pad. You can then deflate your sleep pad until your hips slightly touch the sit pad underneath. The sit pad will still offer support and insulation under your hips, but this will allow you to deflate your sleeping pad more than usual, giving it a softer and more cushioned feel. Ever since I started doing this, I no longer wake up with numb shoulders, and I can finally sleep through the night without constantly shifting around to get comfortable. Okay, next up, if you haven't tried a Rain Kilt yet, you're missing out. Sure, rain pants are great, but they can be bulky, hot, and they're kind of a pain to take on and off. A rain kilt? Way lighter, more breathable, and much easier to use. Wear them over a pair of shorts and they'll keep your legs dry without sacrificing ventilation or access to your pockets. And if it stops raining, just whip them off and stuff them in a hip belt pocket. Super easy. These are one of my favorite pieces of gear, but word to the wise, you do need a bit of confidence to pull off the rain kilt. And speaking of being able to access things while hiking, stopping to dig through your pack while hiking is one of those things that sounds harmless until you do it about 5 or 6 times in a day. I don't know about you, but each time I have to stop and take off my pack to get something out, I kind of lose momentum. You have to unclip your pack, find what you need, and then repack everything, and I swear the pack always feels 5 pounds heavier when I put it back on. It can be exhausting, but also avoidable if you pack smarter. Keep all your essentials, snacks, water, sunscreen, gloves, beanie, your map, anything that you might need while hiking in places where you can grab them without taking your pack off. And if you don't have enough space in your pack's hip belt pockets, consider adding a shoulder pouch like this one from Z-Packs or even a side pouch for even more storage like this one that I use on every trip. Trust me, staying in the flow of your hike without constantly having to stop allows you to cover miles faster and easier while keeping your entire hike more efficient. All right, finding a flat spot for your tent can sometimes feel like a guessing game. You know what I mean? You set your tent up, you think you've got it perfectly flat, and then as soon as you're about to fall asleep at night, bam, you're sliding into the corner of your tent. It never fails. So here's a clever hack to avoid that. Before pitching your tent, first put down your ground sheet, then put your sleeping pad on top of the ground sheet. Then use your smartphone's angle measuring tool to check the flatness. Lay your phone on top of your sleep pad and move the pad around until you're at least 3% or lower. I use my iPhone's Measure app, or you can use the Bubble Level app on Android. Once you found that sweet spot, then you can pitch your tent in confidence, knowing you'll have a flat place to sleep. Next, let's talk about a super easy tip to turn your trekking poles into a multi-tool that you'll use all the time. All right, this one's pretty simple. Wrap a few feet of duct tape around your trekking poles. Personally, I use Gorilla Tape because it's extra strong and easy to tear, but any strong tape will do. This gives you an all-around repair kit right at your hands. Whether you need to fix a torn pack, create a quick bandage, or even get a fire going, it's right there when you need it. Best of all, wrapping the tape on your trekking pole saves space in your pack and even cuts a few grams from your base weight. You'll be surprised how often this simple tip comes in handy. All right. You finished a long day of hiking and you finally reach camp. Want to end the day feeling your best? Do this as soon as you get to camp. When you get to your campsite, start by taking 5 minutes to stretch your legs and wash your face as soon as you get to camp. These are typically things that people put off until bedtime, if they even get done at all. But by that time, the last thing you'll want to do is be splashing cold water on your face or standing outside in the dark, stretching your legs while convincing yourself that there's something lurking out in that dark forest. Make these part of your camp setup routine instead. Stretch out, wash up, and get these done early. By the time the sun sets, you'll be glad you don't have to leave the comfort of your tent or shelter to handle these things. And trust me, your body will thank you. And speaking of comfort, if you've ever thought about adding an ultralight camp chair to your pack but hesitated because of the price, you're not alone. Camp chairs are nice, but the ultralight ones will set you back $100 or more. Instead, consider a $30 camp stool. They're also ultralight, simple to use, and they pack down small. Plus, they weigh just about the same as those fancy chairs. This one is only 16 ounces, and the link's below. You'll still get a comfortable seat at camp without breaking your wallet. A win-win for budget-conscious backpackers. So there you go, 10 ways to level up your backpacking game. Whether it's a weekend trip or a thru hike, these tips will make a big difference. Got a tip that I didn't mention? Throw it down in the comments and let us know. Until next time, happy hiking, and I'll see you out there.